Hi, this is PR Diamond, and we're doing a demo on the TS60, the Husqvarna tile saw. You're going to love this one. It leaves no mess. We're actually sitting upstairs next to a computer, some office equipment, in one of our offices. And this is Chris from Husqvarna.
Hey guys. All right, so yes, this is our TS60. It was designed for the marketplace for pickup jobs and custom installations. It's a 110 volt and 14 amp saw. The biggest thing about this saw is it contains its own water, so it doesn't make the mess that a traditional tile saw makes. The way we contain the water is we've directed the water onto the cart into this groove right here through a series of hoses coming out from the pump. So unless you're doing a plunge cut or a 45 cut, the blade is going to sit down in this groove here where the water runs through. So the blade actually ends up picking up the water from below the tile and pulling it into the cut rather than the traditional tile saw that dumps the water on from the top of the blade guard. Now if you are doing a plunge cut or a 45, we can direct water onto the blade guard with this blue knob over here. You'll always have water down in the groove, but this knob here will put water up onto the blade guard so you can always keep the cut wet. The pump sits in its own compartment over here. The cleaner water runs over this lip and into the compartment where the pump is, so that the pump isn't sitting in a bed of sediment and pulling sediment in and ruining the impeller and whatnot. That's the biggest thing that kills these pumps is sitting in sediment. So we looked at the 45 capabilities. We talked about the water retention system. The three things that retains water on this saw is the groove here around the rim of the cart. So if anything runs off the tile, it gets caught by this groove and directed back into this pan. This back pull-out pan collects the majority of the water that's running off the back side of this groove and then directs that water back into the pan. And then if there's any little bit of dribbles or something that come off the front side of the cart, this tray here captures that water and again directs it back into the pan. So other than a little bit of a mist or whatever when you're cutting, it's containing all of its own water. So the time saving and the labor saving for your customers with being able to bring this into the room, if whether it be a bathroom or an upstairs room, or if it's in a commercial setting and they're on the third floor, if a lot of times nowadays you can't have those saws, the traditional saws inside, because they just make too much mess. So that's what this saw is designed for. It also is a direct drive saw. So what we did was we built a engine preservation feature into it. When you turn the saw on, you get a quick light. If you push this saw too hard, it's going to give you a red flashing light. Yeah, if you continue to push it too hard, as far as speed of cut, it'll turn itself off. So it won't let you kill this motor. It's a 1.5-horse direct drive Husqvarna motor, great motor, and it's a smart motor, so it won't let you kill it. All right. Any questions from you guys at this point before you get to cut?
Can we try?
Yes, and that's why we're here upstairs in your office, cutting in a clean environment so that you guys can try it. So here is a fence that you can use if you want to do any kind of 45 cuts and whatnot. By the way, the capacity of this saw is a 24-inch rip and a 20 by 20 on diagonal. It actually, you mentioned, yeah, Walter, our Tilematic, which is the smaller version of our Tilematic and Super Tilematic, the old Target saws, it has a 24-inch rip and an 18 by 18 on diagonal. So this TS60, exactly, you've got a little bit larger diagonal format with this, with a 20 by 20.
Now, is there other extensions you could put on the table too, or is that
This is the extension here. This comes off if you'd like to just keep, if you're cutting 12 by 12s or anything smaller than that, you just don't want the extra room, it comes off. But if you're jumping into that larger floor format, 24 by 24, you're probably going to want that to stabilize your tile.
Gotcha.
So here's your fence. It's a smart fence too. It gives you a protractor on there, so you just loosen this up and you can bring it over to 22.5, a 30, a 45, 60, and then this would lay up on the cart like this. Like, let's say we're going to do a 45, so we'd set the protractor at 45, drop the fence down onto the cart, and now when I lay my tile up, it's going to be at a 45 angle into the groove, and now I cut away. So, beautiful. Most of the times we'll keep this straight at 0. It can slide all the way out here, so you can set the fence wherever you want it.
It'll slide onto the extended tray?
Yeah, sure. It'll slide all the way out on the extended tray. Couple features also, just creature comfort features. We've got a couple grip holds right here. So once the tray is locked into place, or the cart is locked into place, and this is all folded in. You've taken the water out of the main compartment. I can grab here and I can grab here. It's 75 pounds, really easy for one guy to manage. Once you get it out of wherever you're at, it actually has roller wheels on the back here, so you can put this one side down and you can wheel it along like a piece of luggage.
What are you draining?
I have a couple questions. Is it just limited to tile type material, or can you expand and do other products?
Yes, it has a 3 3/4 inch thickness capability in material. So any material you wanted to cut, if you were doing like
Marble, porcelain.
brick, oh yeah, sure, marble, porcelain, tile, any kind of tile product,
Nice.
you just have to get the right blade. But even if you wanted to do pavers, or you wanted to do stone veneer, you wanted to do brick veneer, anything that has a profile less than 3 3/4.
And with all
you can
that,
cut
no
with a
dust
saw.
is generated.
Exactly, because it's a wet saw and it's pulling the water up from
And
below
it's
the
not
tile.
spraying water everywhere, even though it's keeping the blade cool at all times.
Exactly.
Wow.
So before you move it, do you have to drain it, or is all the water self-contained? Can you throw it right up on its wheels with water in it?
Great question. No, you would have to drain this bottom pan. You have a drain plug, which we can't see right now because we've already done some cutting here today. But you can see the chain that's connected to the drain plug.
You just pull it and drain it into a 5-gallon barrel.
Put a 5-gallon barrel right down there. Pop that drain plug. It all goes down. You can pull this tray all the way out this way.
What kind of pump do you have in there? A little giant?
It's a Husqvarna pump. I don't know that it has a specialty name to it or whatever, but great pump. And like I said, because it's sitting in its own compartment, it's going to last you a lot longer than just sitting in a normal pan.
Right. I mean, taller won't get clogged and shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
In summary, I know you already went over a lot of the features and benefits, but compared to the competitor saws out there, what would be the advantages of getting this that those saws do not have?
First and foremost is the water delivery system. Being able to control and contain your water allows you to bring the saw inside. So huge labor saving, huge time saving for the contractor. The other benefit to this saw over a lot of the saws in the market is the ability to plunge cut, and then even more importantly, the ability to do angle cuts, miter cuts, without putting the material on a miter guide. A lot of the old tile saws, traditional tile saws, there's a miter block, a 45 block that sits on your cart, and then you lay your material up on that. You know, coming from the wood industry, that's pretty tough to get that straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see
Holding
the
big-
ergonomics are very, well thought out on
Yeah.
this.
much easier to use. So yeah, I would say that's the main benefits right there.
Well, let's cut.
You guys want to cut?
do it, yeah.
All right.
Walker.
We'll get some of these tiles out of the way, and you guys can cut with a new one. I'll let you play around. If you're going to do a 45, by the way, guys, you want to lift the blade out of the groove, throw it over on the 45, and lock it down here, and then plunge the blade down into the 45 groove and lock it here. And now I can do a 45.
I'll just do a straight cut.
And what type of tile are we cutting right now?
This is just porcelain.
Yeah.
Porcelain.
Oven baked.
There you go. Got one.